Welcome to the deep dive. Our mission today, well, we're going to pull out the absolute must-know ideas from a book that really shook things up for millions, Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad. This isn't just, a book about dollars and cents. It's more like a blueprint for a whole financial mindset revolution. Really challenges a lot of assumptions we have about security and wealth.
Yeah, and it starts with his own story, which
Yep.
is pretty fascinating. Kiyosaki talks about these two very different father figures in his life.
Right.
You had his actual dad, his poor dad, highly educated, PhD, stable government job, but, always seemed to be struggling
A
financially.
familiar story for many.
Exactly. And then you had his best friend's dad, his rich dad, never even finished 8th grade apparently, but built serious wealth, multiple businesses.
Wow, quite the contrast.
It really is.
Right.
And that lived difference, that clash of financial philosophies, that's really the heart of the book. It forms the foundation for everything he teaches.
It's a compelling setup, definitely. So we're going to unpack the really different advice Robert got from these two guys and show you how that shift in perspective, that fundamental mindset shift, is the real key to understanding why this book hit home for so many.
Okay, let's get into it.
Let's do it.
So just imagine growing up hearing two completely conflicting things about money. His poor dad, his actual father, was always saying, go to school, get good grades, find a secure job.
The standard advice, right? The path we're often told guarantees stability.
Pretty much. But then his rich dad comes along with something totally different, something kind of radical. Learn how money works, make money work for you.
And what's so powerful there, what really changes the game, is how those two simple bits of advice could lead down such incredibly different paths.
Yeah.
That core idea, that shift from just working for money to understanding how money itself, how capital can generate more money for you, well, that changed Kiyosaki's life.
And it's inspired, millions of people since then to rethink their own financial goals. It's really the bedrock concept of the whole book.
So once Kiyosaki kind of grasped that difference, working for money versus money working for him, he realized he needed like a totally different set of tools.
Right.
And the first big one, maybe the most overlooked, was just financial literacy, financial education itself. He points out that, schools are great at teaching us how to get a job, how to earn money.
It prepares you for employment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But they mostly ignore how to manage it, how to invest it, how to actually understand it. It's a huge blind spot he identifies.
Absolutely. And Kiyosaki argues that real education here isn't just academic theory, it's the practical stuff.
Like what specifically?
Well, like understanding taxes strategically, knowing how to spot a real cash-flowing asset versus, something that just looks good on paper, the nuts and bolts of investing.
Okay.
He kind of suggests it's not just an accident that schools don't teach this. Maybe it's a system that sort of primes us to be employees, not owners.
Interesting thought.
Yeah, it's about getting that knowledge that you typically won't find in a standard curriculum, which, fits right in with your goal of gaining practical knowledge quickly.
And that idea of real education leads straight into the next really critical piece, the difference between assets and liabilities.
Yes, the core definition.
Kiyosaki keeps it super simple, almost deceptively simple. An asset puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out.
Boom. Simple as that.
It sounds obvious, right? But when you apply it rigorously, it forces you to totally reevaluate things, especially big things we think of as assets, like owning a home.
Right, and this is what he really challenges conventional thinking. The book uses that classic example. Most people think their house is their biggest asset.
Of course.
But Kiyosaki forces you to look at the cash flow. Is it putting money in your pocket each month or taking it out? With mortgage payments, property taxes, insurance, upkeep, he argues that from a cash flow perspective, your primary residence often functions as a liability.
It's taking money out each month.
Exactly. Now, that doesn't mean it won't appreciate, but in terms of immediate cash flow, which is his focus for building wealth initially, it's a liability.
So a rental property you own that brings in income would be an asset by his definition.
Precisely, because it puts money in your pocket. It's that simple distinction, but it's powerful.
And having that clarity, that sharp line between assets and liabilities, really sets up his most famous advice. The one that's maybe the hardest to swallow for some. Don't work for money. Let money work for you.
Yeah, that's the big leap.
The difference in approach is just stark. Kiyosaki says the rich focus their energy on buying or building income-generating assets, things that keep putting money in.
Right. Systems, businesses, investments.
Whereas the poor and middle class, they work hard for a paycheck and then often spend it, maybe without even realizing it, on liabilities. Things that just keep taking money out.
And the nuance there is so important. It's not just about how much you earn. You could earn a lot. But if you're not smart with it, if you don't use it to acquire assets, you're not necessarily building wealth in his view.
So it's about how you use the money you get.
Exactly. It's about connecting it to that bigger picture of financial independence. Moving beyond just earning a living to actually building a system where your money is doing the heavy lifting, generating income for you, separate from your direct labor or time.
Okay, here's where it gets, I think, really interesting, because Kiyosaki also gets into the psychology of it all.
The emotional driver.
Yeah. He says fear and greed control most people. He paints this picture of the rat race. You know the one.
Oh, yeah. Work for a paycheck.
Because you're afraid of not having enough money, right? Fear?
Then you get the paycheck and maybe see something you want.
A new car, a bigger house, greed, or maybe just materialism. So you spend it.
And then you're back where you started, needing the next paycheck, stuck in the loop.
It's that cycle of working, spending, needing more, working more. He argues it keeps so many people trapped, just chasing their tails instead of actually building something.
And his point is that real financial freedom comes when you recognize that cycle and consciously decide to step out of it. It means confronting those deep-seated human emotions, the fear of scarcity, the fear of missing out, and the greed, the desire for more stuff, for instant gratification. You have to understand those drives to stop letting them dictate your financial choices.
So it's about emotional intelligence around money, too.
Very much so. Making strategic decisions, not reactive ones based on fear or desire.
Okay, so let's shift gears a bit and talk about the book's actual impact. Because, I mean, it's undeniable.
Huge impact.
It came out in 1997, sold over 40 million copies. That's staggering.
It really is.
For so many people, it seems like it was this gateway book, you know? The first thing they read that got them thinking about entrepreneurship, about investing, but a different way.
Absolutely. It opened a door for millions. But, you know, it's also important to touch on the criticisms, which the source material mentions too.
Right. It's not without controversy.
Not at all. People often say he oversimplifies really complex financial topics, or that some of the strategies he seems to advocate for, well, maybe they worked for him, are pretty risky, maybe too risky for the average person without, you know, a lot more detail or caution.
Like the definition of assets, maybe.
Sure.
Some advisors push back on that.
Yeah, exactly. Some financial pros argue his strict cash flow definition of an asset, especially regarding homes, could lead people astray if they don't consider appreciation or other factors. It needs context.
Sure.
But even with those valid critiques, what you hear again and again is that the book's real power isn't in providing, like, a step-by-step investment guide.
It's not a technical manual.
No. Its power is in triggering that fundamental mindset shift. It teaches people how to think differently about money, about work, about wealth. That seems to be its enduring legacy.
Yeah, I agree. When you boil it down, Rich Dad, Poor Dad feels less like a finance book and more like a mindset manual almost.
That's a good way to put it.
It's about fundamentally changing how you see income, expenses, assets, liabilities, how you see your own potential path.
And it's definitely not going to, you know, make you rich overnight. The book doesn't promise that.
No magic bullet.
No.
Oh.
But what it can do, and clearly has done for so many, is light a fire. It can inspire you to start your own journey, to seek out that financial education by giving you this completely fresh lens on how money works and how you can make it work for you.
So wrapping this up, what does it all mean for you, the listener? We've gone pretty deep into Rich Dad, Poor Dad, hitting those core ideas, the two dads, the mindset shift.
Assets versus liabilities.
Right, that powerful, maybe controversial distinction. It's a perspective that, honestly, once you really absorb it, it can genuinely change how you look at your own money, your own choices.
Definitely makes you think. And maybe, as you reflect on all this, here's a final thought to chew on, something to consider. Okay.
Think about the advice you've received. What's one single financial belief, maybe something taught by a parent, a teacher, just absorbed from society? What's one belief that might be, without you even realizing it, holding you back? Or maybe actually propelling you forward on your own path to financial independence? That's a really good question. Something personal to reflect on. Excellent. Well, we hope this deep dive gave you some valuable food for thought, maybe sparked some new ideas.
Hope so.
Keep learning, keep exploring those ideas, and definitely keep thinking differently about money. That's what being a learner is all about.